says it's
There
going
you're
to
sitting
be
there with
live.
a pencil and paper.
Oh, it's live! We're live with, hi everybody. There's John.
Oh,
And
my neighbor's leaving with their loud exhaust.
yeah, God, I love that. This is Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre home. The topic tonight is why it is becoming, not just becoming, but it has been important for a really long time. I don't know. You talk first, John.
Well,
My brain's a little fried today.
some of the several reasons why we try to produce our own food and why we try to provide as much as we can from ourselves, from our own place here, rather than trying to buy everything from a store, because apparently I can't afford to buy meat at a store anymore. So
that's not. See, I haven't. I treated us this weekend because I knew we were thinning out our laying hens this weekend, and I've had people come tell me they throw away their old laying hens. They'll dispatch them and throw them away, or they'll take them down a back road and let them go in the woods to feed the foxes or whatever. But to me, that's a waste of meat. And everyone says, "Oh, they're so tough." I said, "Pressure cook them,
yeah,
and then can them in their own broth." That's what I'm doing tomorrow, is I'm canning. But I knew Howie was not going to be happy about having to dispatch a bunch of chickens in the rain this weekend, even though I got help for him. My son's friend Alex came over to help. So I bought a couple of T-bone steaks, but I went to the butcher and said, "Where are these steaks from?" Because they don't, when you're at the grocery store, they don't label them anymore.
Yeah.
And that to me is wrong. I mean, it should say, raised in the USA, raised in Canada or Alberta or whatever. And he said, "No, that's Alberta beef. It's all good, right?" And but I mean, that's rare. I don't buy meat. I don't buy meat. I will sometimes buy, organic hamburger. I need to know that it's either Canadian or local. Beef, you can't buy local around here unless you buy it frozen. It's a Quebec law. So if you want fresh beef, it's got to come from out west, which is kind of stupid, but it's really bloody expensive. I paid $14 a steak.
Yeah, that's almost, I think it's like $5 a pound roughly for hamburger now. It's not even really the good hamburger. It's like the 70-30 stuff. But
we went. Well, the last time I bought hamburger, at Costco, I bought Kirkland's organic, lean organic hamburger, and I was excited about it. So the next time I went back, I said, "Where's the organic hamburger?" And they said, "Oh, it was pulled because of listeria or something a while back." So they just took it off the shelves, and they're not even going to buy anymore, right? So it's like crap. And then the next thing I know, and it always seems to be Costco. Costco got the organic berries had itis in them at one point, because half the berries didn't come from the U.S. They came from like Brazil and Turkey and stuff, right? Because some of them were pomegranate seeds. Mm-hmm. Then they pulled the organic hamburger. Then a couple of weeks ago, they pulled chicken off the shelves because of salmonella or listeria or some bloody thing. My point is, it's almost like they're creating a need so that they can put the prices up. Well, now that could be. Go ahead. Yeah, I know it sounds paranoid, but
my whole philosophy is they already got all the money. How do you truly control your population? If you want total control, how do you do it? You control the food. And if they're going to start putting all these regulations,
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, our farm, we used to have a nice dairy farm right down the road, and they regulated him right out of bed, and he couldn't pay everything they had to pay and pass all the inspections and all that kind of stuff. It's just a small operation. So they shut him down.
Well, that's what my rant was about tonight. I know you were busy and you missed it. Was that everyone's saying that Mark Baker or Baker Green Acres had a win. It wasn't a win. They rescinded. They rescinded. One judge overthrew the ruling that said that they ruled it as unconstitutional what they were doing to him, right?
Right.
But because the DNR couldn't, and if Mark's out there and you want to correct me, you go right ahead, honey, because I don't know all the details. But it isn't necessarily a win because the DNR is going to appeal because there was a clarification issue on what is a feral swine and what isn't considered feral swine. So there is still going to be a fight going on. Then you look at the cattle rancher out in Texas, Clive and Bundy.
Yeah, I think that was that in Nevada.
Yeah, and then Texas for some reason. And then now what came out as of April 28th in Michigan, they are now what they would do is they had what was called the Farmers Protection Act or Right to Grow. Right to Farm. Excuse me, Right to Farm. I know, guys, I just read this today, but it's still kind of scrambled in there. The Right to Farm Act in Michigan has been tweaked, okay, because they got tired of, now they said urban and suburban folks using that as an excuse to raise farm animals in a non-farm animal area, whatever the case. That's very vague, kind of like the Mark Baker feral swine thing. Yeah. Problem is they slipped up and said rural. What the Right to Farm Act was originally was so that people from the city couldn't move out to the farm country and then bitch because of the smell from the pig farm next door, or the sound of the cows next door, or somebody mucked out a barn and it's smooth farm country, suck it up.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's going to be perfect. But so people who are moving out of the city, other people who are moving out of the city to the outlying areas were having little homesteads and small farms and stuff, maybe less than 10 acres. And they're using the Right to Farm Act to protect themselves from neighbors who may say, well, she's only got 10 acres. Why is she allowed to raise goats? And it stinks and blah, 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 blah. But they were using the Right to Farm Act as a defense. Well, now they have tweaked in Michigan the Right to Farm Act so that anybody who uses that as a defense, well, they have to follow all the rules of the larger industrial farms. And in other words, they're going to play stupid. It's going to get stupid, stupid, stupid. They're going to say, oh, well, you've got to have milking machines, and you've got to have this, and you've got to have that. When, what? I've got a cow. You want me to have milking machines and storage facilities and all this stuff. They're going to make them follow the same rules, and essentially to regulate them so people not use the Right to Farm Act. So they've tweaked it to exclude small landholders.
And that's in Michigan? Because I've seen our little bratty cousin, Renee.
What's that?
I've seen Renee, our bratty cousin, at Michigan Snow. Yep. I've seen that she had put a video out about that too. I haven't had a chance to watch anything today. It's just well, I mean, a typical day. We're got do stuff. So
yeah,
it's just, and I didn't really, and that's in Michigan, right?
Yeah, that's in Michigan. And the reason people may you know, go, well, you're Canadian. Why the heck do you worry about it? Guys, whether we want to or not, that North American Union's coming. And they're going to keep the Canadians separate from the Americans by the way they still do with borders and everything. You're going to need passports and all that stuff, which we never have to come into the States. They're going to do that, but they're still going to make us all under the same grouping. In other words, the rules will apply for the government offices that want them to apply, but they won't apply to us when it comes to standing up for ourselves. If that made any sense whatsoever.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what everybody's up to. I mean, I watched that thing out there in Nevada.
Yeah.
And my opinion
That's
was
scary shit.
both sides overreacted, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's why I don't do videos about political crap, because you know, a lot of people will get upset about it. But I think both sides overreacted myself.
Well, that's true. That's true. And this isn't necessarily, well, if you look at it that way, everything's political. Yeah. Everything has an impact on our socioeconomic base of living. Okay? So everything's political, but I'm not talking at it in a political sense. I'm talking about it in the sense where, you know, we think we're free in a lot of ways. Okay? And we are. But there's a lot of people out there that don't know that their freedom that they have rights. Oh, the government. The government says this, so what can I do about it? You know what? Everybody says vote, vote, vote. But you know what? That's it. Voting counts to a certain degree, but you got to look at it in the sense where we have been conditioned to believe that our vote is the only way we have a voice, and that's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, I vote every time I milk a goat or kill a chicken on my little half acre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's it. This is, you know, and if
every time we plant the garden, and
we're staking a claim to freedom.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, I got a couple of wild cherry trees right there, and I'm watching a family of a mama squirrel and two little squirrels up there eating my cherry buds. Yeah.
Well, you know, set off the fireworks at them or something.
Y'all Rambo on them.
You can scare them. You can scare them. Anyway, I'm sorry if I kind of went on a political bent. My point is it's obvious that the governments are getting concerned with all us homesteaders out there doing our own thing and raising our own food, because guess what? We're not herding in the direction they want us to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're striking a blow for freedom every time we raise our own food. And you got questions in your hand, don't you?
They can say, we'll, you know, relax, we'll take care of you, we'll make sure you're fed. No thanks, I'll do it myself. It's my responsibility.
Soylent Green, baby.
So.
You got questions?
Charlie Rogier, sorry if I didn't pronounce that.
Rogier, like Roger, I-E-R?
Yeah, Roger.
Roger.
He wants to know, Bev, do you have any ideas for a patio, herb, or veggie garden in a really small space?
How small?
Really small.
I saw a really cool herb garden that was several tiers, and what they did was they took a big planting pot and they filled it with soil, then they set another planting pot on top and planted around the base of the smaller one, and they kind of made it like a tower going smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're going up, not, you know, that would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would work. Even that little A-frame thing that I built. Remember, I was in 2x4, that A-frame that just sits right on the porch, and I got, you know, 4 tiers on one side and 3 on the other side, and I can grow. We got lettuce and strawberries and herbs and stuff growing in that.
But if he's talking about, like, say, a patio or a balcony, going up in with pots would work really well. And if you're going to have anything with vines or that may droop, put it in your bottom tier.
Yep. Think vertical, Charlie.
That's right. Oh, I saw one too also that someone did use 2 stair stringers. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, what stair stringers are the side pieces that are cut out like a saw blade, where you put your stair treads on. And what they did instead of stair treads is they just bolted them together with a board at top and bottom, and they went across between the 2 stair stringers with balcony boxes, and that could be leaned up against a wall on a patio too.
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool. Anything else?
Not yet.
Not yet. Look at that. You're watching Hillbilly TV.
Hillbilly TV. The goats look like
Where are you tonight? That's been stuck in my head for weeks now.
Stop eating my cherry blossom, squirrels. Actually, they're wild cherries. The wild cherries are pretty bitter anyway.
When are you going to butcher your Australorps?
A couple weeks still. They're just not quite where I want them to be. They're just not where I want them to be yet. So still, I'm
I lost one of my baby. Sorry.
No, I'm just. I mean, once I don't mind letting them sit out there and grow up a little bit more. Other than butchering them early because I'm pressed for time. We got pheasants will be here. We got 30 ringneck pheasants that'll be here on the 20th of this month.
Oh, they're pretty.
Working on the you make sure to get some feathers too whenever you come down here for your visit to do artsy fartsy projects and crap with.
Oh, where did my feather go? I had a feather. I found a turkey feather on the ground. I was going to make a quill out of it just to see if it works.
Oh, it totally works.
Oh, see? Yeah. You know that. I'm just a little afraid of really sharp knives right now, small sharp knives right now.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Just a thumb, love. It's just a thumb. You got another one, okay?
I know, but folks, duct tape works. Duct tape really works. I cut my thumb yesterday with a paring knife. Instead of using my steel, I was using a samurai shark, and it stands upright like this, and you draw the blade through the V, and I slipped, and the tip of the blade went right across my knuckle down to the bone almost. Clue, word to the wise. Folks, run it under cold water, and thank God I was standing at the sink when I did it. Run it under cold water and close that puppy up with duct tape, a piece of paper towel, and duct tape right away. Because you want to hold it immobile because it's on a knuckle, but the sooner you close up a clean cut, the sooner it begins to heal, and we're talking within seconds. So, just thought I'd throw that in there.
The longer that cut is open, the longer stuff that's airborne has time to get in there and start making a home.
Well, also, too, the edges of the wound start healing independent from each other. If you put it back together, right away, it starts to knit itself.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving you mostly up on the video here, John,
right.
Because the scenery behind you is much nicer than the scenery behind me.
I shoot coyotes from right there on the creek, and on that hillside, there used to be a den of them somewhere right in here on the side of that hill.
Yeah.
There's a den, and they'd always come straight down, hit the creek, and then take off down towards the cattle, which are right down the road, and they would go out there and kill calves. And we'd sit out here on our deck porch, and in the evening time, and they start coming down and blasting worthless coyotes.
Are you eating the last of the peach cobbler?
No, I ate that yesterday. I mean, what?
What's that? Oh my God!
What the hell? You got 3 hands? Where'd that third hand come from?
Hang on a second. Let me try that again. I know exactly what that is.
Hiya, Howie.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, eh?
Very good.
That is vanilla ice cream with maple syrup.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. That's
homemade Howie maple syrup?
Huh?
Homemade Howie maple syrup? Awesome.
We only got, what did we get, 4 or 5 bottles this year? We didn't get that many this year because the weather was just too nuts.
Yeah. Weather has been crazy.
Otherwise, we'd be bringing you a bottle. I still might sneak one down.
Holy crap, we got some rain this past week that, I mean, it was like somebody was standing on the roof just pouring buckets out. I mean,
that's what you said. You had a tunnel right down going through your garden, a river running through your garden, you said.
5 little creeks running down through the rows of the garden. There's just crazy water everywhere. And I was like, you know what? We should dam it up and plant rice, apparently. I guess we're going to get all this rain.
Well, you know.
That was dried out pretty good, so we got things sprouting in the garden. Thank God, got beans coming up.
Wow. You know what? My garlic's coming up.
Nice.
That's that organic garlic I paid $10 a pound for in the market down in Wakefield.
Hey, that potato box that I built out there, them potatoes they went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs out there, man. They are going crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, as long as they repeat themselves under the soil and you just don't take it all down and only have some potatoes in the bottom.
I will be angry, and then I will take that potato plant and choke the crap out of it. Where are my potatoes at?
Now, John, we know
It doesn't.
we know your anger has its uses. Hence the stove,
That's when you
the
take one
outdoor
potato
stove.
plant. You take one potato plant in the middle, you pull it up, you choke the crap out of it. You're like, see? All the other ones are like,
Yeah, I got to tell my chicken story. Yes,
yeah.
yesterday we culled our laying hens. Now they're not all laying hens. Some of them were supposed to have been butchered in the fall and didn't get butchered, so they became laying hens because, well, they're barred rocks. But anyway, Alex, our friend Alex and Howie were out, gathering up all the chickens, putting them in a big dog crate so I could say a little prayer for them before they started dispatching them. And Howie said, "No, which ones do I take?" I said, "Take the 3 white ones, they're older, and just leave me 6 laying hens." Well, I said 3, or 4, and he wanted 6, so he left 6. But anyway, Howie comes in the house. Now, I said to him, I said, "You can't have that cage right there next to where you're going to dispatch them." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because you'll scare them." Okay? No, serious. Hang on a second. I said, "You'll scare them." What happens is, if they're just because they're animals doesn't mean they don't feel, right? And they're going to see you killing them, and they're all going to get all tense and upset, and their meat's going to taste funny from the adrenaline, and all, and their feathers are going to tighten up, the skin's going to tighten up around them. Just cover the bloody thing. So he lightly covered it with a tarp, but I guess he didn't do it fast enough, because one of the old white hens, he pulled the tarp back, and there she was in a squat, like this, put out an egg.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Back! I don't want to die.
Pooping out an egg. And I said, "Are you sure it came from her?" And he goes, "Hey, her butt was still sticking out." Right? And I said, "Put her back and take one of the barred rocks." Right? So so I said to Howie, I said, you remember that conversation we had about those fishermen who catch and release? What do the fish say to each other when they go back to their buddies after they've been on the hook and re-released? They were like, "I was in the boat, man. I was in the boat." So I said, we put the chicken back in with the rooster and the other hens, and one barred rock left, and she went, "I was in the cage, man. I was in the cage. My egg saved me."
Don't lay your last egg. Save it. Save it for a rainy day. And it was pouring today, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Prissy and her one egg, hey?
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, so my turkey poults are in with the mom pa kettle, even the little ones that still have some fuzz on their head. They're doing good. We took all our week-old chicks out and put them with, it's a long story, but we put them with the 2 that my friend gave me that are halfway to being grown. And they're like aunties to the little chicks. They're not being mean to them because we tried putting them in with the old laying hens, and the rooster tried to kill them. So I mean, things got shifted around this week. We got a whole bunch of stuff up at the garbage box, and a couple more weeks of hard labor, and the old homestead should look good.
Cool. Spring cleaning.
Yep, there's my incubator. It's got 3 turkey eggs in it.
Very nice.
The last, she's not laying anymore. She said she gave up when we kept taking them from her. But
well,
it doesn't have, I haven't got my egg turner built yet. So I've got a regular egg turner in there for now.
You got a pretty good clutch out of her, though.
I did. I think we got, well, there's 6 in there. 1 wasn't good. That's 7. There was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I cooked about 4 of them, 11, 12, 13. She probably laid 16 eggs. And that's not bad for her first, year.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Let's see. Is that Delana? So maybe some first aid? What do you mean?
Videos.
Huh?
Videos.
Oh, first aid videos?
I just did.
No. how to do first aid, maybe.
Oh, how to do maybe some first aid. Do like next time you cut yourself, make a video about how you're fixing it up or something. I guess.
I did. I actually have one where I cut myself in the webbing between my finger and thumb because my son say, "Mom, you're always cutting yourself." And then Howie said, "Well, that's because, was it you or Howie that said I use one knife 400 times more than probably normal people?"
Yeah.
I'm always cutting something.
Yeah.
But when I cut between the webbing of my thumb and finger and went to the hospital for stitches, they said, "Yeah, you need stitches." I sat there for 4 hours. Said, "Piss on this, I'm going home, I'll fix it myself," and I did.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I would do any first aid. I mean, I may do a first aid, like my first aid kit or something, but I don't want to be responsible or somebody like, I'd watch Jnull do this and it worked out great, but then I did it and it didn't work. So, hey, Jnull, you're stupid. That's stupid. You're stupid. I did what you said and my hand fell off. That's stupid. So I just thought, I don't know. It was one of those.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just, there's certain things that I will share. And I can, like I said, I can show my kit and explain what things do and why I have them in my kit. But as far as, I would suggest get first aid books and read and do a little bit of research. You can get like nurses' reference books and physicians' references and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And read stuff up on that would be my suggestion. I don't.
We're not nurses and doctors.
Yeah, I'm just a dude, so.
Hey, my husband fixed this.
Jenny.
Can you tell he's a body man?
I'm surprised they didn't use Bondo to close it up.
No. Great, but we talked about crazy glue, but we decided to wait till it finished bleeding, and by the time it finished bleeding, and we changed the bandage, it already looked like it was healing. So.
Yeah. Well, if you don't need it, don't put it on.
No, hell no.
Jenny wants to know: does anyone have rabbit sausage? No, I don't. We usually will chicken fry. We chicken fry our rabbits, or we'll can the old ones.
I did.
I know. I bet rabbit sausage would be pretty good, though.
The only trick with rabbit sausage is it's really, really, really lean, so it's really, really, really dry.
Yeah.
So I would follow a good breakfast sausage recipe, but I would add fat and water. Believe it or not, like, why would you add water to sausage? But believe it or not, as you're cooking it, you want to lose, when you're cooking it, the water will come out in the cooking and leave the meat juices in. Because the water's lighter. So, but I've made rabbit sausage. It's quite good.
If you happen to have a butcher or a meat locker or something like that around, you can probably go and they'll probably cut you off some pork fat that you can grind in with it.
Absolutely. But yeah, you can make sausage out of any meat. You just gotta use your noodle when it comes time to fat content, liquid content, if it's a lean meat.
Them little squirrels are so dang cute.
Until they get nice and big, and then they're really cute for a whole new reason.
Can't wait till September.
You mean there's actually a season for squirrels?
No, yeah, we have a squirrel season opens up in August. But usually I don't start shooting them until after we get the first. I don't shoot anything until after we get the first good frost. I don't know why. I just find it that way.
So when we come out in October, there could be lots of things you guys will be tramping around the hills looking for.
You guys come here in October, and me and Howie hit the hills. If it flies, it dies. If it's brown, it's down, baby.
Awesome.
As long as we can hit it.
It's a good thing Howie's hair's gray.
Yeah, some things are hard to hit when they're flying. And yeah, we'll have squirrels and doves and rabbits and quail, and we'll have muzzleloader deer season, bow season, I believe. I don't even know. I have to look and see when the fall turkey season is. We may be able to blast a couple turkeys. But yeah, when the fall hits, I mean if it's made it through the summer and it's in the hills, it's fair game. Shoot it, put it in the freezer.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
Shoot it. We expect you to eat it. That's the rule of the hills.
Kill it, grill it, baby.
So.
Kill it and grill it.
There has not been anything with the exception of possums, and I won't get into why I don't eat a possum, but I don't eat possums. Everything else, you cook it up however it's supposed to be cooked up. Crispy fried muskrat, roasted groundhog, coon in the crock pot.
I got a great deal yesterday. Where the heck did we go? We had to go to the store to pick up feed. And I saw a yard sale. Now, I don't always go to yard sales anymore, only if they're calling me, right? And I saw a dog crate outside, so I said, I want to stop there. And Howie goes, no, we don't need the other dog. I said, it's calling me. The yard sale's calling me. So we went in there. The people are moving, and they were selling just about everything. I got a crock pot, a really nice big crock pot, for $5.
Cool.
Yeah, but I paid $30 for something that normally, you know those boxes, they have a lid in the front and a lid below, and one's parts for potatoes and the other parts for onions. Yeah, handmade. The guy handmade it. Didn't even have varnish on it yet. I got it for $30, and Howie's like, why? And I showed him. Because up until yesterday, my onions and potatoes sit in a bag by the table on the floor, you know, kind of hidden half under the end of the table there.
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, okay, you needed that. So I have now a bin for my onions and a bin for my potatoes. I'm really happy.
Sweet. Let's see here. Rabbit Farm Hobby. I have an old TV.
Half barn rabbitry?
No. Rabbit Farm Hobby.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I have an old TV. Anything I can use, anything off of it? Any ideas on what I can pull off of it? If it's got one of them Fresnel lenses in it, you can definitely use that. I don't know how big the TV is, but if you take the TV apart, sometimes they'll have a concave lens for what they use to project the TV onto the screen. If it's got that concave glass lens, you want to get that sucker because that's called a Fresnel lens or something like that. It's got some fancy scientific name, but it makes a hell of a good sun beam director thing to...
For your solar oven.
Yeah.
Using your noodle, little brother. Also, any kind of old radios, amplifiers, electronics like that, if you see them out on the side of the road, you go through those babies for, what am I looking for? The tubes. Remember the old tubes, John?
Yep.
In the back of the TVs, the glass tubes and stuff. Those things are worth a small fortune.
Really?
Yes, because a lot of people revamp. Well, let's put it this way. I found a radio about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. God, I'm starting to feel old. Anyway, it was an upright radio, and it had no FM. Okay, this was back in the day. And it had the slide-out turntable that did 78, 33, and 45.
Yeah.
And when you turned it on, when you turned the radio on, it went bong. You know that old radio noise they made when the tubes were all heating up? I got that thing for $10 at a thrift store. You know why? Because the plug had been cut off. And all I did was, you know me and plugs, man, I just rewired that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to heck that I had found a way to bring that with us when we moved to Quebec, because Howie has a friend who collects radio tubes, and he gets thousands of dollars for some of them.
Wow.
Well, some people like the way the old amplifiers sound with their electric guitars, and you got to have parts for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Me personally, I use the glass, the front of the lens. I've never come across anything like that old that's got stuff in it. But
well, I am a little bit older than you, honey.
Not much.
I know, but you're still the little brother, so suck it up. Just kidding.
Other than that, you can take if it's just like a regular plastic frame, and there's nothing that you can use into it, then just bust that other glass and put your little fire thing. Where you got like a little TV frame with your little your hillbilly TV there too.
Hey, make it into a fish tank holder.
So pretty much no, I don't have any ideas on what to do with an old TV.
Anything electronic you can tear down, and if you think it may be useful, you know, it usually is eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you
Not
can
saying
always
become a hoarder or anything, but
you can always scavenge all the resistors and stuff like that in there in case you're going to build another electronical project or something.
it's like my mother-in-law's old Dell computer tower that was just fried.
Mm-hmm.
I took the computer fan out of it, and I also got a different fan for the aluminum cooling block or whatever the heck it's called, and that had a 12-volt fan on it as well. So you never know when you're going to need something like that.
Very true.
Yeah, don't throw away if your cell phones are baffed. Don't throw away the charging cords or anything like that, because if you're using a computer fan, you need a converter cord or whatever it is, an adapter cord for it.
A lot of electronics too have got gold in them somehow. I don't know how to get it out. I don't know where exactly it is because I'm not an electrical dude. But there's computers and cell phones and stuff like that have got some places that have got little pieces of gold in them. I don't know if it's the solder or if it's on the circuitry or whatever it is. But I know that there's gold in some of them old stuff like that you can figure out a way to scavenge it off of there. I don't know how, but I'm sure you can look it up.
And if you come across any old like electrical wire, if you come across like old spools of, you can, 9 times out of 10 the wire in those are copper.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get that plastic coating off, I'm not going to tell people to throw it in the fire because I don't condone burning plastic, but if you can get the plastic off those wires, I mean, you got a lot of copper there, and copper is dear.
Yep.
Especially since they got rid of our pennies.
Well, there's a lot of people that got, like wire strippers and stuff like that. Homemade wire strippers, you can run it through and just pull it and strip it off.
Yep.
And they do a lot of, you can do a lot of recycled wire and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know how new the TV is, and I don't know, anything about it. I haven't never seen it, but there may be in the electric, if it's a newer old one, then there may be some of those, fancy electronics in there that's got a little bit of gold in it or something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, when it comes to what were we talking about originally, about it, why is it important that we raise our own food? Well, because that in itself is a freedom. Scavenging for parts on old things. We have been raised, our generation was raised to be a disposable society.
Throw it
and
away.
When we become a disposable society, use something and throw it away so that we can consume more, then we are actually giving up our freedoms because we become slaves to stuff. So I mean,
Greatest.
What's that?
Gotta have the latest and the greatest.
Yeah, no. See, Howie, we had matching cell phones for a while there. Howie used to have a smartphone, and when it died, I got him a new cell phone, but I wouldn't get him a new smartphone because I don't trust anything you can that you can use voice command on. I don't, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's listening, somebody else is listening, right? I don't care. And yes, I know I'm on wireless and everyone's listening to my computer, but people expect people to listen to your computers.
I mean,
anyway.
I'm not. I mean, I don't know about anybody listening or whatever, and that's fine if they do, because I don't talk about nothing. So that's just a waste of money and time. But I like to provide for myself. I figure, I look at it as my responsibility to feed my kids, not anybody else's.
Well, that's right. And if you, like, for instance, I mean, you are your wife's primary caregiver. So you can't go out and have a job to pay for the stuff to bring in the house to look after your family.
Yeah.
I on the other hand, when I met Howie, I had a 2-year-old and I was a stay-at-home mom who babysat and looked after other people's kids so they could go out and work and buy stuff. But what I did before we got into homesteading was I made sure that me staying home was not an additional burden on Howie being the primary breadwinner. So I went, cooking from scratch, raising what I could, even if it was just a little backyard garden. Because that's where the true freedom lies, is when you're not, when you're not a slave to what they're selling in the grocery stores, then you've got one more day or one more part of your life that's your own, that you have no one to answer to except how good or bad you raise your own stuff.
Like you said, too, it's economical. I mean,
Yeah.
you buy all the stuff you need to make bread, and it costs you 80 cents to bake a loaf of bread versus buying a loaf for $2.
Yeah, exactly.
You take that $1.20 and buy something else, buy something else to make something else with, So
I made those Kaiser rolls. I just about died at how easy it was, and yet you'd think I would know because I bake bread, right? But I mean, I just never thought. I just assumed it was a complicated thing to make these beautiful Kaiser rolls, and it wasn't. So I learned something new, and well, now I bake Kaiser rolls once a week because they're much better for sandwiches in Howie's lunch than slices of bread are.
just like those biscuits that I made from all that stuff, we buy in bulk, and you can store it for a long term, and those biscuits rock.
Well, I mean, too, also, if you make like bread rolls, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, Kaiser rolls, anything like that, until you slice them, they stay fresher longer because they have an entire crust. You're not slicing open the end of a loaf of bread.
Yep.
I mean, I learned that, too. So, I mean, you're never too old to learn, apparently.
And, if you get in the mood to bake them and it's a rainy day, you can't get outside and do anything, bake a whole lot of them and freeze them.
That's right. Well,
I
don't have room in my freezer for that. I'm storing up pig food for pigs I haven't got yet. But that other freezer, if we find we're not going to be using it, which we're not, it seems to hold nothing but hides and bones, that may just be coming on the back of the truck down with us, because
we'll put it this way.
I don't have 4 kids and 7 people in my household.
Yeah.
Just the 2 of us.
Yeah. That's something else that I got to consider. I mean, we sling a lot of hash out of our kitchen. I mean, when you come here, you'll see how much food we cook and make out of this kitchen, and offer this. We cook a lot of stuff. And
I can't wait.
I bet you we cook just as much food out of our kitchen, especially when we have gatherings and people over, as some little small restaurant choke and puke does. So.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Bev.
Yes.
Have you abandoned your gluten-free diet? ?
Yes and no. I have not abandoned a gluten-free diet. I found out that I can't do the gluten-free diet. I thought at first it was just the gums that were making me sick, but apparently it's a combination of the flours. I'm just one of those weird things that, if it can go wrong, I'm a walking Murphy's Law. But I have not abandoned it completely because I learned a lot from it. Like, you can substitute cauliflower for flour and pizza crust. I mean, so there's other ways to do things that you don't necessarily need flours. But I've abandoned, what I have stopped using is the gums and the gluten-free flours. But I have found other ways to do things that are gluten-free that, But yes, I still eat bread. I make Kaiser rolls. That's kind of a silly question, actually, for me, because I just made Kaiser rolls the other day.
That's probably why they're asking the question.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it was silly. I mean, it makes sense.
It's that's part of the reason why they're asking, because the last couple of cooking videos, you haven't mentioned anything about using like gluten-free this and that and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it after going off the gluten-free diet, and then one day I made pancakes with the combination flour, and I didn't use the gum because I just threw an extra egg in, which is its own binder, right? And I ate a half a pancake, and an hour later I was, blown up like a balloon, and you did not want to be anywhere near me for probably half the day. So, yeah.
Motorcycle.
What's that?
Motorcycle.
That sounded like a Harley.
Yeah, that's Jay, guy that lives down the road. He goes out and eat sometimes and take a spin down the creek road, and then he'll go down the creek road and he'll come back up around on the ridge road, back down to the end of this creek. These all are like, you can always get to, you can go all the way down the creek, turn around and come up all the way down the ridge to the other end of the creek, and then get back on the creek road and come back down home.
It's a loop.
Yeah, and they have, like, everything's a loop, and they all, it's just, you'll see when you get here. Ridge roads, creek roads.
Do you remember you and I were talking about when I started my cabbage plants and they all died, and I didn't want to, I thought it was too late to start again and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the stuff to make a catch can $50 greenhouse kind of deal. And Howie wants to put it on part of the garden. And at first I argued with that because to me I want to expand with a greenhouse. But we really don't have a lot of room. But I thought about it, and putting it on the garden makes sense because that's one thing I can use, because when I grow tomatoes, 90% of them are harvested green because we have a shorter growing season. And I don't get a lot of sun in the hills. So if I can extend my growing season, I can probably do a heck of a lot more things like tomatoes and cabbage that take a little longer to mature. So that's a project that's coming up.
Yep, that'd be a good one. If you can get 4 or 5 really good tomato plants, where they say like 10 pounds of tomatoes per plant is what you can yield. If you get good tomato plants and you keep them good and healthy, you should be able to get 10 pounds.
I didn't start any tomato plants this year. So I guess I'm going to be buying them from the local nursery, but because I thought at one point there that tomatoes were causing me pain too. And yes, cutting back on tomatoes actually helped with my fibromyalgia, but I just can't live without tomatoes. I'm sorry. I love my tomatoes, especially a big old slab of beefsteak tomato on some toast with some salt and pepper. And
You know, I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Beefsteak tomato for a reason, baby.
I haven't eaten dinner yet, I'm just saying.
I had some of my pressure-cooked chicken that I'm going to be canning tomorrow. Well, I was taking it off the bone and separating it from the bone and stuff, and I threw some on a Kaiser, one of my homemade Kaisers with some lettuce. Oh, it was so good. Sorry, John.
Salad, that sounds good. I need to make some chicken salad soon. It's getting to be
good.
spring, you know, starting to get warm. I want some warm stuff. Chicken salad won't be long, and our lettuce and our little planter will be big enough so we can start picking lettuce up for some salads and
some potato salads and
walk around the yard and get some dandelions and all kinds of stuff to throw into a spring salad, man.
Dandelions are a good liver detox. And folks,
they're tangy.
Don't get the big one. Did you know that there are 2 kinds of dandelion leaves, eh?
Yep.
Some are sawtoothed,
yep,
sharp, and some are more rounded.
Yep.
And the ones that are sawtoothed are actually more medicinal than the ones that are round-toothed.
The ones that are sawtooth are more bitter too, I think.
Yeah, but if you get them really, really young, if you get the leaves really, really young, they're good.
Yeah.
Give a nice bite to a salad.
Gary needs a muffler bad.
Oh, who don't? Who don't need a muffler?
There's this much traffic up and down the creek. It's Sunday night. What the hell is everybody doing? Go home, people. You should
have seen the looks I got on Friday in the grocery store parking lot when I went to Lee Valley to get that dehydrator.
Yeah.
You should see the looks in the parking lot. People giving me dirty looks because I'm pulling up in my big truck with a Crip sticker in the window. And they're thinking, and you could see them giving you the looks like, the hell is a person need a Crip sticker for if they can get in and out of that truck? Right? And then I get out my 2-step footstool out of the back seat.
They're like, oh, okay, now we know.
Okay, we get it now.
Okay.
And I reach down with my cane and pull the stool up and fold it up. You know, it's a riot. But oh well. I love my truck. The footstool is small potatoes compared to how riding in that couch makes me feel. Because that's exactly what it feels like, riding a couch.
If you like it, it's all matter.
That's right. I love my truck. And don't give me no carbon footprint stuff. Howie drives a Hyundai Accent. So, I mean, it all comes out in the wash.
That little car runs great. I mean, if you rub it backwards on the carpet a couple times, it takes right off. So I've seen it.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Just love it.
Sambo's mom, how old should rabbits be when you dispatch them?
5 pounds or plus.
I typically go by weekage, usually 8, 9, 10 weeks, somewhere around in there.
Yeah. Anything else?
Because they're young and delicious when they're young like that.
I love rabbit. Have you canned any rabbit yet, John?
Yes.
Do you you got to put a piece of bacon in the jar, right?
I did not do that.
Try that. Trust me. I put half a piece of my homestead bacon in every jar of rabbit I can because I raw pack them bone in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it come out to it's like turkey and stuffing. Oh, so good.
I've never tried that.
No, I mean because I never roast rabbit for the simple reason is that I did it. Well, I have, but it came out so dry, and then I read Little House on the Prairie and it said to lay some salt pork over it.
Chicken fried.
Well, I've never had that, so I've only made fried chicken. I've made fried chicken 3 times in my entire life.
We're going to fry some stuff when you come here, and you're going to eat that piece of rabbit that's been freshly chicken fried, and that's when the angels will start singing. Little light will come up of you.
Thing is, John, it's contrary to popular opinion. People look at me and think I eat a lot, and Howie goes, well, your portions are bigger than they used to be. And it's like, okay, rewind that, Howie, and look at the part of the video where I scrape half my plate onto yours. Okay? What did I have to eat today? I had chicken and lettuce on a Kaiser and a bowl of popcorn. Okay? So, contrary to popular opinion, I don't eat a whole lot. So, John, if you're going to be feeding me, you got to do it in increments.
The
like
food is hot
all day long, a little bit at a time.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We're cramming that food right in you.
I'll explode.
Hot, brown, and plenty of it like food should be.
I thought that was like shit should be.
Oh, man. Yeah, I eat a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I'm the kind of guy that's like, man, you know what would be great on this cheeseburger? What?
More cheese!
A ham sandwich. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Wait a minute now. I got an idea cooking up in my head. Okay. Mark that down for future reference.
So, what breeds of rabbit provide the most meat?
Well, you can get those, what are them great big Flemish giants?
Flemish giants, we got
really big, but they don't grow as fast as maybe a smaller breed will when it comes to meat to feed ratio, right? So I'll let you take the rest from there.
We have a Flemish giant that we're going to try. We just got her. We're going to breed her. We've had San Juans in the past. We got a New Zealand California cross.
Oh, those are not. That's a nice cross.
That's a good sized rabbit.
Yeah.
We just bred her last weekend, and she took really good. I mean, she was like, "Hello, sailor." She backed right up and she did the business. So hopefully,
awesome.
Because we had to get rid of that champagne d'Argent doe. We couldn't get her to do anything. She was just like, dude, you're an ugly rabbit, dude. I would never, ever screw you. Bye. And so she would never breed.
You are so looking above your pay grade, my boy.
Exactly. She's like, you think you're going to get some of me?
Yeah.
So anyway, she went.
And she was gone.
We went to the Great Cloverfield in the Sky. And now we're going to try, like I said, we're going to raise up this Flemish giant. The Flemish giants won't butcher them until they're, like you say, about 12 weeks, just so they give them a chance to grow up to get to their full meatiness.
Yeah.
But the San Juans and the New Zealands, we're probably going to, like I said, between 8 10 weeks whenever I get to it. Whenever I feel like, doing it, then we'll do it, depending on how big the bunnies are. If they're not quite big at 8 weeks, then we'll wait till they get, another week or so, see how much they plump up. And whenever they're nice and plump and juicy, and you can touch their back and you can feel they got a nice little loin on their back strap, and you just I mean,
okay, what? So you're going to make me some fried squirrel and some fried rabbit.
I can make you fried. I'm not a big fan of squirrel. That's why there's so many of them running on the hill, because I don't shoot it. I don't eat them because I'm just not a big fan of squirrels. But we'll shoot one. If you want to fry squirrel, we'll blast one out of the tree and fry it.
I've eaten squirrel.
Oh.
I just, if you're going to do fried rabbit, and let's see, I got to eat groundhog.
We'll do a groundhog. We'll do some rabbit. We'll do some pheasants while you're here.
And dove breasts and bacon on the
You
barbecue.
gotta go shoot the doves. So tell Howard to get some shotgun practice in because them little bastards are hard to hit, man.
And I'm going to make a bacon and egg pie. And I don't know what else I'm going to make while I'm there. So we're going to have a master chef kind of cooking session going on. It's going to be wonderful.
Yep. It's going to be a thing because, then Gloria and Greg will show up. Gloria's going to come in, and Betty Lou Quakamoto, Lady B, she'll come across the river, and we'll have all these people with all this cooking knowledge just cramming it and just slinging hash out of the kitchen, man. Throwing down some serious chow.
You know what? We got to shut up.
I know, I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
No, it's not that. I got people. There's people out there right now watching this that are Google mapping you. It's like, okay, when are they going? When are they going to cook? So hopefully when Mr. Off-Grid Solar Cabin, Bill and Rose are apparently sending me a Dickies work shirt, a 4X Dickies work shirt, I'm going to be making myself an apron, but it ain't going to look anything like yours except for the shirt front. But we are going to look so cute together for a picture.
The sleeves off of your Dickies work shirt unless it's winter. I'm just saying, dudes out there who wear Dickies work shirts and work with the sleeves on. I don't like sleeves. I like the freedom of the sleeveless.
I know. You know what? It's really, really hard for me to look half decent for videos because if you haven't noticed, winter or summer, I walk around in shorts. I walk around in shorts unless I have to go to town, and then I put on my sweatpants or whatever the case may be. But I'm one of those people who like shorts and tank tops because I'm hot all the time.
Yeah, I'm a pretty simple. I mean, I have jeans and Dickies work shirts, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You open up my closet, you're like, oh, look, I want to look up J-Do's closet. He's got jeans and gray Dickies work shirts hanging in his closet. Yeah, great. Boring.
We're getting ready to close up soon, folks. I'm going to share probably, anybody who doesn't want to hear too much information, plug your ears right now.
Blah, 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 blah.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
Not you. I bought, recently I bought 2 pairs of pants and a new bra, okay? And Howie couldn't figure out what I was going. I kept walking up to him going, feel that, right? Because it was a new bra. No lace, it was all soft and all this love. And he goes, what? It's your boob. I said, no, it's a new bra. And he goes, I'm supposed to care. And I went, Howie, I buy new bras. The last time I bought new bras, we were going to Egypt, okay? Last time I bought, I just don't buy clothes. I wear them until they're dead, and then I cut them off and make them into something else and wear them again.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I jumped off the fashion train back in the 80s. So,
well, I mean,
back whenever parachute pants come out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not wearing those.
No, that's not happening. No.
Jenny's got another question here. How many breedings per doe does
How often can you breed your doe before
does are ready to breed? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could
chuck wood?
How many breedings per doe? 3. You can get 3 a year out of a doe. That's
a lot.
Some people say you can cram 4 in, but I try to give the does a few weeks in between when you wean the bunnies. Give them a couple of weeks to kind of recover before you go slamming another dude in there to them, and have more. If it comes down to it, you can do 4 a year if it's that's your depending on that meat. But usually the does are usually between 10 and 12 weeks. The does are ready to breed. If you have bunnies, you can take those bunnies and breed them, and they'll start making bunnies. And then next thing you know, you got crap loads of bunnies.
I know. And the thing is when it comes right down to it, if you have a small area, and you can only maybe have 2 bunnies or 2 rabbits. Rabbits, pound for pound, time for time, are one of your best investments for a small area for raising meat. Those and quail.
Pounds of meat per pounds of feed they're the highest ratio of the animals that you can get.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, and that was usually our does will give we'll have anywhere between 4 and 8 kits typically with the baby bunnies per doe. Sometimes, I mean, you'll get more if you get lucky. Sometimes you'll get less. We breed our does. They always say you want to put the doe in with the buck a couple of times for 2 days. You'll put her in the morning and put her in again in the evening, and then the next day do the same thing because rabbits' ovaries are in two sections. And so the buck
One on
will,
each side.
yeah, whenever they get it on, only one side will get fertilized and the other side won't. So they'll only have, half of them, 3 or 4 of the half of them. So I'll put them in for a couple times to make sure that all the ovaries get fertilized and all the eggs that she has or whatever get fertilized.
And what is not commonly known is that bunnies or rabbits will ovulate when they're having sex. So in other words, they may not be ovulating like we do once a month, but as soon as the Marvin Gaye music comes on,
yep,
they're putting out eggs.
Yep.
They can breed anytime.
Yep. So the first time may just be kind of a, getting them in the mood kind of thing, and then the next time they get half of them, then the next time they get the other half, and then the next time they just kind of top off the whole thing, and I've been feeling fine.
I've been feeling fine, baby.
Somebody says does come in the heat every 3 days. I just throw my doe into the buck cage whenever I have time to go out there and throw them, and I put them in there for 2 days straight, and there's only been one time that they haven't taken, and that was because it was that crazy champagne doe that just wouldn't give it up, man. I don't know what her problem was.
We haven't got any rabbits. I got to get a pair.
Yep. Get some rabbits.
It is 8 o'clock. Do we have any more questions?
Because that rabbit poo is garden gold, man.
It is gold nuggets, baby.
It's a cold manure. You can throw it straight. You can pull it right out of the bucket, throw it right onto the garden.
I've done that with goat manure, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it works great.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything else. I don't think there's any more questions.
You got to say thank you, Mary. Show us your hand so we know you're there. Thank you, Mary. You can show us your face, Mary's the one who takes down all the questions and throws us some info and steers us in the right direction when we're wrong.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Eat Bunny. Buck, buck. Remember that commercial? That was so awesome. Anyway.
What was that?
Remember that commercial it was like for Cadbury eggs or something? They're like little kid, one standing in a chicken costume, one standing in a bunny costume. They're like, thank you, Easter Bunny. And the little kid's like, buck, buck.
The first time I saw that Easter cream commercial where the rabbit was sitting there going, buck, 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 I just about peed my pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charlie Chicken says it is 8:01. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Sorry if I got a little silly tonight, but, sometimes spring is a silly time.
Yes, it is.
Hey, have a good evening. Here comes John.
Good night, y'all. Jnull from Jnull here. So, boring.
Jnull from the hill.
That's right.
We'll see you guys all soon. Oh, and we want to say that we're not necessarily going to do it every week now. Spring and summer is on our doorstep, and we are going to be working. So, if we do it once or twice a month, that's maybe all we get for the summer. All right? So, good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.